skip out on Starbucks, grab your coffee fix from the Early Bird Cafe right here on campus.
Ever wonder how we put our CSN together? Today we're going to give you an inside look into our studio.
Our student population just got more diverse. A feature on the foreign exchange students is coming up.
Hey Hawks, and welcome back to CSN. I'm your anchor, Isaac Aguilar.
And I'm Jaylene Salayandia. Stay tuned because Centennial Student News starts now. I don't know about you, Isaac, but I'm grateful for the upcoming Thanksgiving break.
Me too. I'm grateful for the time that we get off and to spend some time with family.
Couldn't say I disagree on that one. Jumping into things, let's start off with our first story of the show.
Reporter Savannah was up early getting all the details to our Early Bird Cafe.
It's about time you throw your Starbucks away and come to the Early Bird Cafe located here in our library. I know many students are glad the cafe reopened after so long, as am I. So I asked a few employees on what it's like running the cafe. Here's what they had to say.
It's exciting for us and for the students. They're thrilled to get back into the cafe. As you can see, the lines are long every day pretty much to get back in there and get us our coffee drinks and the hot chocolates. So.
Most certainly I am. It's my senior year and I love to see the cafe up and going, and just having more people in there in the mornings is a wonderful sight to see, since it's something that I've seen since my freshman year.
For those who run the cafe, they find joy in serving students here on campus.
I think it's very exciting to start off your day by seeing a variety of groups of people who come together in the morning and just kind of start their day off positively. And there's no better way to do it than a coffee, truly. One of my favorite jobs to work is taking orders. I like doodling on people's cups and making sure to wish them a happy day.
If you haven't had a chance to stop by the Early Bird Cafe, make sure to check it out and start your morning right. They're open Tuesday through Friday at 8 a.m. For Centennial Student News, this has been Savannah Martinez reporting.
Isaac, have you gotten a chance to meet any of the foreign exchange students here on campus?
I have. What are the odds they end up in New Mexico out of all places? Here's Clorinda with the story.
The American dream inspires people worldwide, from across Europe to Asia and other countries. 2 foreign exchange students at Centennial High School traveled from their home countries to live out their American dream.
Like growing up, all Europeans have like the American dream. So like watching movies and stuff, I was really interested in coming to the US. So I've always liked English because it's a language that everybody speaks now. And since I traveled a lot during my life, I kind of needed to learn English, and I really like it. And yeah, that's one of the main reasons why I came here, to like improve my English.
Although they come from different countries, there's one thing our foreign exchange students are missing: their families and food.
Of course I miss my family, but we can call almost every day, so it's good, but yeah, I miss them.
What is something you miss the most from Italy?
Food.
Food?
Yeah.
America doesn't have a good Italian food?
No.
Out of all places to choose from, my biggest question was, why Las Cruces, New Mexico?
Wonderful.
Here with my uncle, so it's easier for me.
The school in general, like I think school here is really fun. In Italy it's really boring. We just stay in class for 5 hours straight with the same people. We don't change classes, and we can't choose our classes, and we don't have like school activities and stuff.
We're so glad to have them in New Mexico, especially here at Centennial. For Centennial Student News, this has been Clorinda Cardoza reporting.
Now let's take it to Katie with an update from Hawk Talk.
Welcome back to Hawk Talk, where we give you an inside look into all things Centennial. I'm Katie Baratius. Let's jump right in. Congratulations to the cast of All Together Now for their performance. Also, a big congratulations to all of our All-State musicians from Centennial. Your hard work and dedication is noticed. Ed Rising is doing a food drive. You can drop off any non-perishable or canned food in D119. You can also get a discounted drink at Early Bird Cafe with a canned food item this week until the 19th. The winner of the pet food drive held by Key Club is Ms. Pettis Luna's advisory class. That's all for this segment of Hawk Talk. We'll see you right back here next time.
With Thanksgiving right around the corner, I'm sure many students will be traveling to visit family.
Before you pack your bags, here's Adrian and Jaylene with this week's Hawk Heat weather forecast.
Hello everyone, and welcome to this week's Hawk Heat. I'm Adrian Villegas.
And I'm Jaylene Ortega.
This is your weekly forecast, now including a forecast for El Paso and Albuquerque for any of those who are planning on traveling this Thanksgiving break.
Today's weather is going to be a high of 62 and a low of 36. Tomorrow will be a high of 66 and a low of 33.
Now for this weekend's forecast. On Saturday, it will be a high of 73 and a low of 37. On Sunday, it will be a high of 69 and a low of 41.
Now for this forecast in El Paso, today it will be a high of 62 and a low of 42. Tomorrow will be a high of 69 and a low of 37.
On the weekend, it will be a high of 74 and a low of 44. This weekend's forecast for Albuquerque will be a high of 65 and a low of 35. And on Sunday, it will be a high of 62 and a low of 42.
Don't eat too much turkey and have a hawktastic Thanksgiving break.
See y'all next time.
We'll be right back with sports after this commercial break.
Hey Hawks, welcome back to Hawk Sports Network. I'm Nathan Stewart.
And I'm Ashton Lucero. Now let's get into this week's sports report.
This week, our Lady Hawk volleyball team competed in Albuquerque for the state playoffs.
Here's what libero Bella Castro had to say before heading to state.
Are you looking forward for another state ring?
That is definitely the goal. Hopefully this weekend we'll come back with another blue trophy. So hopefully.
Who do you think is going to be your biggest competitors?
I think this year our biggest competitor is definitely going to be La Cueva. Last year we played them in the semis, and the year before was a championship. So that's probably who we'll end up facing if we make it to the end.
How does it feel to be in this position again?
It's very exciting. It's a little nerve-wracking, but I think we're all very excited for this weekend and anxious, but just got to savor the moment. We're excited.
They started off with a strong win against Las Cruces High School, but fell short against Cleveland.
The girls came back with a strong win against Rio Rancho, but sadly ended the season with a loss against La Cueva. Their season ended with a final score of 23-3. You had a great season, ladies.
Now moving on to football, we caught up with offensive lineman Coach Flores before the big game.
How are you guys preparing for playoffs?
With it being playoff time right now, we really don't know exactly who we're playing, so we're looking at two different teams right now, but we have had 2 weeks of practice, just working on fundamental stuff, making sure that we can keep these guys ahead in the game for them being off for 2 weeks. Just making sure that they stay in the mode of having to get ready for their next opponent regardless of who it may be.
What do you think is going to be your biggest challenge?
I think our biggest challenge right now is having such a long layoff from playing our last game. It's been 2 weeks, like I mentioned earlier. These guys are anxious to know who they're going to play, see who they're going to play, get to watch them on film and get the game plan and whatnot. I think that's the biggest thing for us right now.
What would you like the outcome of your season to be?
Well, I think for every coach and for every high school team that's still playing football right now, because there's a lot that are at home that their seasons are done, is just to keep working for that next game. We get one more game. We win that one, we get another game. So right now in the playoff time, it's just taking it one step at a time. Ultimately, we want to win the blue trophy here in a couple weeks in November, right after Thanksgiving. So it's just keeping the mentality that one game at a time, one practice at a time, one day at a time.
What is one of your hardest challenges you guys have faced this season?
I think one of the biggest things is just still trying to face this whole COVID thing that's going on, keeping the kids focused. It's tough to be a student athlete, and I think it's even tougher to be a student athlete with everything that's going on around us right now. We got good kids, we got great senior leadership, so I think those guys have taken the reins of this team and guided all the guys in the right direction to keep the mentality that we want. going forward.
What would you like to say to your players?
Thank you, really. These guys have put in so much time from the summertime back in June, going up the mountain for the Rock Challenge, not knowing what the next week is going to bring as far as, are we going to play a game? Is it going to be canceled? Is something going to be dropped on us with everything that's going on in the world today? Their dedication is by far some of the best I've ever seen, from underclassmen all the way to the seniors, and that our players really handle adversity pretty well for being young teenage men. So just keep it up, and everything's going to pay off eventually, sooner or later. And that I love them with all my heart. I'm proud of them for how far we've made it this year and how much further we're going to continue to go in these next couple of weeks.
They took on Las Cruces High School in an attempt to advance in the state playoffs.
Unfortunately, their road to the state championship ended with a score of 21-35 against Cruces on Friday, finalizing the season at a record of 8-2.
You played your heart out and had a great season, boys.
Next episode, we will introduce our boys and girls basketball team, as they are soon ending their preseason.
And that's it for this week's episode of Hawk Sports Network. Thanks for tuning in.
The other day, my friend asked me how we put together the CSN show.
It's definitely a process and can get chaotic. Here's Layla with what a day in the life of CSN.
Every few weeks, you watch the reporters and anchors give you the latest news, events, weather, and more. But what you don't see is the work that goes on behind the scenes. An episode of CSN starts with our producers, anchors, and reporters organizing what we'll put in the show.
First one is pre-production, setting up all the stories, getting all the ideas, trying to basically plan the whole show.
Next, each team writes their scripts and collects interviews. Producers and videographers film segments like the scare segment from our Halloween episode.
Production, filming all the interviews for the reporters, and then weather, they'll be doing their weather. Anchors will film anchors and sports anchors.
Last but not least comes the editing. Each team imports their footage, interviews, and voiceovers, and our producers put it all together and add details like transitions, graphics, and music.
We line it up and put all the music, all the sound, and everything into one final product, and then we export it to YouTube and send it out to all the teachers. You don't really see us on camera at all. We're behind the scenes, staying here at 8 o'clock at night, editing, trying to get the show done so everyone can watch. Oh, I love being a part of CSN. It's my favorite thing to do every day.
With an inside look on our show, this has been Layla Garcia reporting.
I can't believe Centennial will be turning 10 next year.
In honor of the anniversary, here's another segment of Cen10 Questions with special guest Coach Ocampo.
Hey Coach Ocampo, do you have time to answer Cen10 questions in honor of Centennial's 10-year anniversary next year?
I do.
Okay, first question. What does your morning routine look like?
My morning routine, I get up about 4:45. I hang out for a little bit, and I start a run from 5:30 to about 6:30, and then get ready for the day.
Besides football, what's your favorite sport?
I like track and field. I like the throwing events. I coach the throwing events in track and field, and I like watching my kids do their sports.
What's the meaning behind the saying, be a champ?
Be a champion just kind of encompasses everything we want our players to do on a daily basis. We want them to work hard in the classroom. We want them to work hard on the field, in the weight room, whatever they're doing, and just maximize their abilities. That's what being a champion's about.
Who's your favorite assistant coach?
Gosh, I love all my assistant coaches. I think, when you talk about longevity, I think Coach Laverine and Coach Kevin Reed have been here since the start. So it's pretty cool that we've all been here together building this program from the very first year on. So I wouldn't say they're my favorite, but they've been here the longest.
What keeps you and your team motivated?
I don't know. I think most motivation comes from being motivated by yourself to do the best you can. But I think a lot of motivation in football comes from having a family atmosphere, from having a brotherhood where you don't want to let your teammates down.
What's the significance of the annual Rock Challenge?
I think it's an opportunity for us as a team to test ourselves, physically, test ourselves mentally, it's a chance for us to grow together as a team, and it's a chance for us to overcome adversity. It's something that's become a tradition, and I think our kids draw from it whenever, you know, we have challenges on the field. I think they know that they can overcome things because of that.
If you aren't teaching or coaching right now, what would you be doing?
It's a good question. I don't know what I'd be doing. I guess maybe I've thought about maybe law or something like that. Maybe be a lawyer, something like that. I don't know. I don't know if I'd read well enough or read enough to do that, but I don't know what I'd do.
A lawyer sounds pretty cool. In all your years of coaching, which player has inspired you the most?
Oh gosh, that's a really good question. I think I've been inspired by a lot of players over the years. It would be hard to pick just one, but we've had a lot of players here at Centennial that have done awesome things, not just on the football field, but in life. And I think sometimes you look at star players and you see what they've done, but sometimes it's the guys that may not be star players. It's the guys that are just battling just to be on the field and overcoming things within their lives. So I've been inspired by a lot of players. I think it would be, it wouldn't be right to just say one.
Since you've been here from the beginning, how has the school changed since then?
I think the biggest change from when we started was when we started, your sister was here when we started. We were seen as the irrelevant school. We were seen as the school that didn't matter. We were kind of just the kids that came from the other schools. And you know, now our school is one of the top schools in the state of New Mexico. I think all of our programs, all of our activities are top notch, and I think people look at our school and say, that's a great school. They have great kids, they have great programs. So I think the sense of pride that we have in our school is awesome and has really developed. And it's because of those first kids that came here that we're looking for a new chance and a chance to start over. Those kids did such a good job in building our culture and our tradition that our school is top notch.
Dang, look at us. Last question. Where do you see yourself in the program in the next 10 years?
Oh gosh, I see yourself in our football program continuing to develop really good football players, but more importantly than that, really good men. I think that's a big thing in our program. We're challenging our players all the time to grow and use the game of football to be tougher, better men. And you know, we're not perfect, but we feel like using the game of football to do that is something great. So I'd like to see us continue the success that we've had. We've been a very good football program. I'd like to see us continue that. I'd like to see us winning a lot of games, and I'd like to see us, more importantly, having good people, good men that we're developing in this program.
Well, Coach, I wish you and your program another successful 10 years. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks.
That's all we have for you this week, Hawks. Thanks for tuning in.
Have a safe and relaxing Thanksgiving break, and we'll all see you next time for our holiday episode.
Bye.
Bye.